2 years ago, we unexpectedly lost our 4-year-old son, Paxton. And we had 3 children in 3 years, which we actually got pregnant with our first when we were just on our honeymoon. So we started our family right after we got married, and in 3 years had 3 children. So we decided that we were probably done. I had 2 miscarriages after I delivered Paxton, and after those 2 miscarriages, I think we were both like, this is enough. My body had been through a lot, and at that point I'd been pregnant 5 times in 4 years, and we had 3 beautiful children, and we just felt like we had kind of the American dream. We had the perfect house with 3 beautiful kids, all close together in age, and we were really just kind of living the dream until we lost our son. And it just, wrecked us, obviously. And our arms were just so empty. It's not a feeling that you can really describe to somebody that hasn't been through it. But we knew that there was all this love still that was still in our heart that belongs to Paxton, and that love still belongs to him, but we had no place to give it. It's just sitting here, and it felt like it was welled up in our hearts and with nowhere extra for it to go. Some people might ask, well, couldn't you have poured that into your other living children? And the answer is no, because you love your children at the maximum capacity that someone can be loved.
Right.
Yeah. And there's just no more I could give them. I already loved them to the max. So we were very lost about what we were going to do at that time. And I had a dream. It was really strange. I had a dream that we had another baby. And I woke up feeling very confused by that, because it was literally impossible for me to have a child and also for him. So I had no idea how that would ever be possible, but I knew when I woke up from that dream that that was the first thing that I had thought of that gave me any hope or peace or possible happy or joy. And so I kind of began obsessing and talked to him about it. He thought I had lost my mind at first. And then kind of slowly over time, he started kind of latching onto the idea too. And
it's just hard to think about, starting over once you've made that kind of progress with your family. To be, hey, we've got a 4, that time what were they, 4, 7, 8, starting over, going back to ground zero, square one, and just getting...
Well, they were 4, 6, and 7.
4, 6, and 7. So anyway, going back to diapers and all the...
Well, there was that for him. I didn't care about that. I cared about my empty arms and needing them to be full again. He was being practical and thinking of all the things that men tend to do. Money, how were we going to do this? And obviously, for 2 people who have rendered themselves infertile, the only option for us was to have a biological child with surrogacy. So when we were building the birthing center, Amanda, who became our sweet surrogate, is a birth photographer, and her team rents space from our birthing center. And so we were building the birthing center, they were getting their space ready, and we were getting our space ready. And I had just casually mentioned to a group of girls that was all around, and including Amanda, that I felt like the Lord had told me in a dream that I would have another child. And she said, oh my gosh, I had a dream a couple nights ago that I was a surrogate. And we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, whoa, that's weird. And I went home and I thought about it and I was like, no way is this gonna work out. That's too crazy of a story, like for it all to just kind of have happened in one afternoon. There's no way, but I told Seth about it and he kind of got a little excited, and Amanda was a little excited, and she was gonna talk to her husband, and we ended up all meeting for dinner within like a week and a half time frame from that initial conversation. And we were all a go. And from that point on began the IVF process, which was super crazy. Lots of needles, surgery for this guy, lots of needles for me, lots of needles for Amanda, 2 egg retrievals for myself, which was a really difficult process. Also brought, when the first round didn't work, that was another grieving process. It was definitely an uphill battle from start to finish. We have fought for this baby. We had invested so much of our finances, our hearts, everything was on the line for this IVF retrieval, and our hopes were so high for it that when it came back that, you know, we didn't have anything to transfer, we were both devastated, but I was gone. And he was so positive through it all, and he grieved for the first little bit, and then it took about a week, and then he was like, I think we should do this one more time. And I said, no, I don't even want to talk about it. It was so hard on my body. It was so hard emotionally and spiritually. I just didn't want to do it again. And I felt I had enough grief in my lifetime. I didn't want to put myself out there anymore. I was scared. So he spent the next couple months just kind of feeding into my life and into my spirit. And he really believed that we should give it one more chance.
There's a lot of steps. It's super involved, a lot more than I had anticipated. Just, you know, emotionally, and, you know, it's stressful. You just have, you know, you've got all the testing and all the waiting, and then and so it's like it never comes fast enough. And so it was hard. It was really hard.
Getting that phone call was awesome. We immediately rushed. From the second we got that phone call, we had 1 hour to get the embryo transplanted into Amanda's uterus. So we're racing up to the endocrinologist's office, and it felt very like theatrical and kind of like the movies, all of us rushing up there, and we're put back into this little tiny room, and it's literally a 2-minute procedure. It's 2 minutes, like that's it. It's very anticlimactic. 5 and a half days later, and we were scheduled to work together in the office that day. And that was also the first possible day that we thought we might get a positive pregnancy test if the transfer had been successful. So in true Amanda form, for her not wanting me to miss even 1 second, she peed in a cup with her first morning urine, which is how you're supposed to take a pregnancy test, and brought her urine in a container up to work so I could be the one to actually take the pregnancy test myself. And I saw 2 pink lines, and for the first time in 2 years, I had hope and a little bit of joy. No, it's totally there! Oh my God! I'm pretty sure, right? Like, oh, yes. Yeah, it's totally there! Oh, thank you, God! Yeah, it's positive, baby. I didn't want to get your hopes up or make you nervous today, but it's positive. The pea sick is positive. Our little shepherd boy I'm so thankful. I love you, babe. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I just thought, I just thought all the bad things happened to me. Look, it's so dark. I mean, it's not so dark, but it's dark. It's there. It's not a splinter. It's not a splinter. No, it's there. He's an overachiever. Okay. Growing. So having Amanda be our surrogate was literally the greatest thing that's ever happened. I honestly did not know how I was going to feel about having another woman carry my child, because I love being pregnant and I love giving birth. Obviously, I'm a midwife for a reason. So I was really nervous that I was going to feel very jealous and all these things, but it was such a joy every single time I would get to walk into work and get to see Amanda carrying my baby, and day over day and week over week watch her belly grow. And as a midwife, I got to care for my own baby as he was growing in her belly, and I got to see him almost, every day, at least 4 or 5 times a week, which is so uncommon with surrogate pregnancies. Most of them are in different states and they don't have a relationship. Me and Amanda are very close friends, and we work together on a weekly basis. We do births together. So we have seen the highest highs of life. We've seen life come into this world together, and we've seen some of the lowest lows of our mutual clients, miscarrying or something like that. So we have walked, some really intense paths together before even the surrogacy journey started, which of course, just made our relationship even deeper and obviously, just so much closer through that. But it was just such a cool thing. There was not one thing that happened during the pregnancy that I didn't know about at the exact time it happened. So like the first time she felt the baby move, if that was at 2 a.m., I got a text or a phone call at 2 a.m. So I felt very connected to the pregnancy because
she was amazing. Yeah. You couldn't have asked for it to go any smoother.
Every single person, I think, in our lives that walks through life with us, I think this has hit all of us a lot more deeply and more intensely than we ever thought that it would. And this sweet baby has changed our lives also more than we thought was ever possible, because when we were first having children, bad things couldn't happen to us. We were invincible and young, and the world was our oyster. And then when tragedy happens, you're just not sure that you're ever going to see even the light of day again, or that you'll ever see the goodness of God again. And so to be able to have a tangible reminder of God's love and His faithfulness to us every time we get to hold Him, and every time we get to see His little smile, and every time He wakes up with His big blue eyes and looks in my eyes, and I just know that He's totally infatuated with His mommy. It's such a precious, it's just such a precious gift that I wouldn't trade for anything in the whole wide world.
It was definitely a life-changing experience. The whole, even just Shep's birth, just all the ups and downs. From the very get-go, from getting no normal eggs back to now, a very healthy, amazing baby boy. It was epic.
Epic. This has been epic. That's good.
This love is like the ocean that's crashing over me. It's like falling rain on the driest plains, as far as eyes can see. And this love is like the trees that are looking down on top of me. This love is like no other. It's right where I wanna be. Nobody loves you like I do, and I never want them to. Nobody loves you like I do, and I can't get enough of you, and I don't ever want to. This love is like the church bells, as loud as they can ring, in the good man's face on his wedding day, when he sees his bride to be. It's like a little girl holding her daddy's hand for everyone to see. Yeah, this love is like no other. It's taking over me. Nobody loves you like I do, and I never want them to. Nobody loves you like I do, and I can't get enough of you, and I don't ever want to. This love is like a mystery that's folding out in front of me. Yeah, this love is like no other. It's right where I wanna be. Nobody loves you like I do, and I never want them to. Nobody loves you like I do, and I can't get enough of you, and I don't ever want to.
And in the early morning hours, I went to check her again and check her progress and see how close I was to getting to meet my baby. And she was about 8 centimeters, and I felt a nose when I went in to check. And as a midwife, when you go in and you don't feel just the hard round noggin, you start feeling pretty nervous. And I knew immediately that it meant that Amanda would be having a cesarean. It was hard, I for sure grieved not getting that the moment I dreamed of, and then I remember one of the most special moments after Amanda was wheeled back into the OR, me and Seth, Johnny, Amanda's husband, Amanda's parents, I remember Johnny saying and just gently reminding us, because we were all feeling so guilty and so sad for Amanda. And I remember him saying, the whole reason she did this was going to be the look on mine and Seth's faces
with the new baby,
and our joy that would come in the morning. Is he here? Is he here?
Nobody loves you like I do, and I can't get enough of you. And I don't ever want to. Nobody loves you like I do, and I never want them to. Nobody loves you like I do, and I can't get enough of you. And I don't ever want to. magic, it's steady, it's new. On a warm summer evening in June, it's magic, it's steady, it's true. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. The sunset, but there's still a glow. I feel it when we're dancing slow. As sure as the tide comes and goes, forever I promise you'll know. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
I did not have a backup plan. I had
You're not a
zero
midwife. You don't have to have a backup
emotional
plan.
Backup plan. I thought,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into this crazy birth, and it's gonna be all whimsical and woo, you know. And then the next thing
Don't
you
use
know,
that in the video.
it goes sideways.
That wasn't good. Don't use that. Anyway, whimsical. Sorry, you gotta take all that out.
Gina, this is what he was doing this, then this, then this.